My friends, I still don't have a hydraulic hose to make that I need to make right now, but to get ready for that, I'm going to hook up this pump to where this pump is. I have tested this pump and it works, but I mean, like seriously, you're just pumping for a long time before you get that to close. So this will do it with air compression and also hydraulics. It's air over hydraulics, basically, is what it is. And there's the fittings for it. But first, I've got to get this pump off and I've got to drain it. So I guess that's my first step here. I'll give it a shot and see how it goes. I don't know if it's going to just come pouring out of here or, well, that wrench sticks on the thing. It fits it, but it sticks on. Maybe this one will, it's loose, it's too loose, but it's better than having it stick on there. Well, I see no oil yet. Still backing off. Long threaded thing. It's starting to get a little drippy. There's a little bit of oil dripping out. Alright, I'll get me some Allen wrenches and take this loose. I have no idea which one goes in there. That's a good guess. If I can just break it loose here and then turn it with the other one. These screws are in at an angle to match the angle on the top of this flange here. They don't go in at a 90. That's kind of bizarre, or at least this one on this side doesn't. The other one looks like it might go in a little bit more 90. High-tech precision machining, you can tell. Well, come on out of there. There you go. Got it. And of course, it's a different size for the other ones in the front. Of course, why would it be the same? That would make it easy. Slide it out of there. I think we're disconnected, and I'll turn it up like this to let the oil pour out. Doesn't seem like there's much oil in there, at least not right now. I'll find me a cap for this. Okay, I don't know a thing about this hose. Off camera, by the way, I put these Allens back in here just so I wouldn't ever lose them. And I stowed the pump away in a drawer where I have other hydraulic stuff, so I should be able to find it. Looks to me like these are the same on both ends. So that would almost seem foolproof if that's the case, right? I don't know if this will. Of course not, it's not going to fit up to that. Why would I think it would do that? Maybe this other end does though. Nope, it don't either, I can tell. Both ends of this are flat, like they need a different kind of connector. Wouldn't you just know? Let me see if there's any converters or anything in this kit that came with it. Here is the kit. There might be. It looks like there's some stuff in here. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe. Okay. Well, I only got lucky if this is it. And I don't think this is it. I don't think the rest of this is going to work. Pretty much, I've seen a lot of guys do this on YouTube, and they pretty much just grab it and hook it right up, and no problem at all. Not the case with me. Just doesn't quit. Well, let me think about this. Maybe there's a way to take this off and do something different. I don't know. Well, my friends, I have finagled around enough until I think I've got a way to at least get the hose connected. All right, so this piece here used to screw into the pump. So I just turned it around. It used to face that way. So everything else is natural. This is just a common brass pipe fitting, and it does fit that, so that'll go on there. This is the quick coupler that came with this whole outfit here. And let me see here. Let me get this unscrewed. Yeah, so this is the quick coupler that came with the outfit, and this happens to screw into here, so I can get that, and then of course this connects up to this, and of course then the hose connects up to this. So, like, it's a miracle. All right, so the only problem I'm gonna have then is going from the hose to the air. And since this is pipe threads, it probably won't be that hard. I'm trying to decide here, you know, how I'm going to do this logistically, because this thing's going to be sitting like this. So, do I want to turn everything off, come off on this side of the bench over here? Let me think about that, and how I want it turned, you know, like if I want it turned where this stuff goes that way. Because going out the back like it is isn't going to be very helpful. Coming around to the front side here would block this drawer. So I think my only option is to go off to that side. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Okay, so it looks like I'll start by holding this and loosening this joint here. And once I get that loose, should be able to, of course that's not real loose yet. That joint tightens up. So I can turn it this way. Of course, now it came loose altogether. And I'm probably going to have to bring this right over to the edge here. And of course that had to fall, and it had to land on the face. There's no way it could have landed any other direction. That would be impossible. It's just so frustrating. That goofy stuff, whenever it happens, it always happens to the worst possible scenario. It's so frustrating. You'd think you just could catch a break once, but it never does work that way. All right, so I got that tightened down. Now I'm going to have to loosen up this to turn this gauge up. And then I'll have to turn the gauge around. I can do that. Let me go ahead and get this tightened back down. And then I'm going to want to have this pointed straight down, I believe, or at least pointed out to the front here a little bit. Maybe an angle out to the front. So let me see. Can I loosen this? And it's just awkward. If this was just a hair longer, it'd be perfect, but it's not. And so I guess I got to deal with what I got here. Well, I guess it's just going to be like it is, because I can't see that moving. All right, so can I loosen this up enough to turn the gauge around? gauges around. Now I guess I better see if I can tighten it back up a little bit. And I'm gonna have to find me a wrench for that. Okay, I got the gauge tightened back down. I've got this all pointed the right direction here. It's not perfect. It would be perfect if this was about 1 inch longer through here, but it just is what it is, as I say. So can't do much about that. Put the tape on these threads here. And we're just putting the brass fitting on first. Let's see, I think 19. Really need about a 23 here, and I've got a 24 handy, but that's pretty tight. That'll probably be good enough. And then I got to put the tape on this. And I've shown this many times, but when you're putting tape on these things, see how the tape's coming off the back of the roll from my perspective? You just hold it like that, and then you wrap around this way, and then it stays tight the whole time, and it's under control the whole time, versus going the other way, you're always fighting it. There you go. You also put the tape on so that as you tighten the nut, the tape is getting wound in tighter, not looser. You know, you're not going against the tape. Might be hard to understand that until you do it, but once you do it, you'll understand it. And of course, that's the wrong size. So let me get the right size here. I'll get a crescent wrench. So I have my metric crescent wrench here, and hopefully we can tighten this up. I'm going to put this on here, hopefully. Hopefully, I said. Hopefully is the operative word. No, I'm going to do it differently. I'm actually going to put it on this other fitting, and that way they can both tighten up to their desired tightness. There we go. Started turning the brass one there, so that means it's tight. Okay, so now I just have to come out of here with the hose. Then the hose goes into the actual foot pump, and then the foot pump connects up to my air line. I believe that's all we got to do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and connect this up like this, because this is real world for me, and I'll know that this is the way it, you know, where the hoses are going to be. And slide this over to the right to the edge, because I think that's where it's going to have to live. Now I should be able to put thread tape on this hose. You wind the tape the same way that you're going to tighten the nut, so that the top layer of tape is turning the same way the nut is, and that way it tightens the tape on rather than pulls the tape off. And this is going to be fun, because I got to spin the whole hose on this. Well, I don't have to. I could, yeah. I was premature putting that on there. I should have just waited. Okay, so we'll put this on here like so. And Okay, we're going to need the 19 on this end and the metric crescent wrench on this end. And it, boy, it's got a, I don't even think it's big enough. It's not quite big enough. It just goes right to the edge of opening. It just goes right to the edge. It just wants to go on there, but it won't quite go on there. Typical luck. Okay, I found another metric crescent wrench here. And this one opens up plenty wide. Same size wrench, just that it opens further. Yeah, that's pretty tight. I think that's it. Now I'm going to put it back on here again so that I get a real world feel of how these hoses are going to lay. There we go. It's going now. Okay, it's tight. Yeah, that's going to work. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. It could be worse. And I'll put this rubber thing on here so it kind of protects it a little bit. I might actually put me a board or something under here and actually fasten it down to the table and to this to keep it all still, because it's going to flop around like that, and I'm not a fan of that. That's details that we can work out later. Okay, I scrounged through my stuff and I found one of these left. So this is the air that hooks up to the air compressor, snaps right onto that with a quick connect. So all I need to do is put that in here. And I've also noticed the camera's out of battery. So will we get this done before that? I doubt it. So it just goes in like so, which is pretty much a piece of cake. And I just happen to have the right wrench. I must be, well, actually it's probably a hair too big, but it's working. Wow. Okay. So now all I gotta do is screw this in here, and I'll probably have to take the hose loose to do that, and we're gonna be out of battery before that happens, but basically this just gets screwed in there. Okay, I got the tape on this, and all I gotta do is spin the whole thing, so the whole hose has to spin in my hand. Piece of cake, except that it's not. Come on, give me a break. There it is. I think I finally got it. Nope. Oh, I had it. Doggone it. You know, you can't spin this hose without spinning the whole hose, because the hydraulic hose is stiff. There it went. Just took both hands, of course. 19, well the 19, yeah, I got lucky for a change. Anyway, the 19 should do this. All right, well theoretically we're finished. All we gotta do is hook up the air to that port and we're ready to try it out. Okay, I've got the air run over here. I don't think I've put any pressure in the line yet, but I've got the hose over here. All this does is plug in to this outfit right here. So you just quick connect like that. I have a feeling this one's gonna leak because that's a used connector. And, you know, at least it's good for testing. We can test it. But I'll go turn the air pressure up, and then we can see if this thing's working. Okay, we should have well over 100 pounds of pressure in there. So if I step on this, it's going to make a racket. It's going to be loud. Listen, here we go. and it looks like these jaws are starting to move, but we may need to add oil. You can see they're closed up now. That's much better than hand pumping for, seems like forever. I mean, even that took a little while with over 120 pounds of pressure. This, if I turn this in far enough, this light should come on. Let's see if it does. There it is, there it is. So there's the light, so that indicates that that's working too. So I think we're good to go. Well, I thought I was finished with this video, but then I decided there was one more thing I could do to make this a little better. See, I don't like this flopping around, and I thought I'll just drill a hole through here and a hole through here, run this through both holes, like that, and with any luck, and I think I'll have it here, I'll be able to tighten this down around this, and then this hose will kind of be fixed and it won't be flopping too much. You know, like if you're moving this down here, the rest of it doesn't move all that much. So let me just tighten it down pretty good. There we go. That'll keep it in place pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's much better. I could have gone more elaborate with, like I said, with some wood and all kinds of things, but I really think that's suitable. That's good enough. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this little short video about connecting up the air using a foot pump. These things are good for lots of things. I really think this is going to be the perfect way to make this work. That also frees up both hands to be up here holding on to the hose on both sides and making sure it doesn't slip in or out or fall or anything like that. And then I can control it with my foot, and then to release it, all you have to do is step on this end, and then that releases it, and you can see here the jaws are opening up just by releasing the pressure. I think I love it. It is perfect. Well, if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see you on the next video.